You're listening to Hotepish with your host, DeJuan B. Intelligent ish talk, intelligent shit talk, where we balance the profound with the profane. Political satire, celebrity and expert guests, information and entertainment, conversation and solutions. Leave your feelings at the door.
We are here. Thank y'all for joining me.
With your host,
I know I have not been posting videos regularly lately.
Intelligent Shit Talk, where we balance the
But
profound
I'm about to get
with the
back to
profane.
it.
Political
Let me play some preaching music. There we go. Yeah, I know I ain't been posting much lately. One video in the last 12 days, some shit like that. Yeah, I've been busy, and also I had some family in town. Had a hella fun weekend. I wanted to post over the weekend, but I couldn't, man. I was having fun. We had that Smoke and Grooves Festival here in LA. That shit was dope. That Smoke and Grooves Festival was dope. Got to see everybody I love. Not everybody, but a lot of artists that I love. And y'all know me in concerts. I love my concerts. I love my concerts. I'm going to show y'all the lineup we had. I'm going to show y'all the lineup. Let me see here. I'm airdropping it to my computer right now. Some of the pictures that I took. But anyway, thank y'all for joining. We're going to have fun today. But look at this lineup. How could you not spend $300 on these tickets? Kamasi, Erykah Badu, Nas, The Roots, The Internet, Thundercat, Music Soul Child, India Irie, Angie Stone, Dead Prez, Slum Village, Roy Ayers, come on now, Flying Lotus, The Willie and the Free Nationals, Bilal, man. This show was the shit. So that's why I couldn't come to y'all on Saturday. This is where I was. Getting it in. This is where I was. Yeah, I'm glad concerts are back. And now California is getting rid of even this little vaccine mandate. Like proof of vaccine mandate for large events. I was trying to get to a concert earlier this year with Robert Glasper at the Walt Disney Concert Hall, but I didn't have my Wompty Wimp card. So I had to get a refund. Shit, this is when the Roots was on stage. This shit was dope. Picture of the sunset. But my question was, who is this cornball ass nigga in the red? That's the thing about festivals. When you in festivals, you see all kind of weirdos. What the fuck is this nigga doing in the red? This nigga dressed like a bad guy on Police Academy. What the fuck you keep doing that for? This nigga dressed like he's getting ready to break another window in 1976 New York. This motherfucker here, what the fuck is this Billie Jean ass nigga wearing? This how you know the colors don't really exist in LA no more. If this nigga wore this shit 10, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, if he wore that shit to this park, he'd have got his ass whooped about 17 times. The Bloods wouldn't have saved this corny ass nigga the way he dressed. That'd be the funny thing about these festivals, man. You get the weirdest dressing ass niggas you ever want to see. This nigga over here looking like Quarter Pac, nigga. Not Tupac, 1/4 Pac, nigga. The fuck is this dude wearing? That sunset was beautiful. Nigga. This shit was dope. So that's where I've been. And then I went to wine country, me and a wife and my cousins. We went to wine country. You know, wine country is always dope. Wine country is always dope. Like, I'm a city boy. But the only way I get to stay in the city is by getting the fuck out of the city. You know what I mean? Look at this. This is at Riverbench Winery. I love this winery right here. I love this winery. That shit is peaceful. But anyway, we here to talk about what's going on with these corny ass niggas. I'll talk a little bit about shit to avoid in relationships. This is all of us. They say black people don't get married. These are my cousins. They spouses. Fuck you mean black people don't get married? Hell out my face. There's 3 married couples right here, people. Drinking wine with the honkies. Black takeover of the Central Coast wine places. No, Corey Hogan does not dress like that nigga methinks. I'm around Corey. If Corey got some bullshit on, it's some super high quality bullshit. And you be looking like, God damn, that's some bullshit, but damn, that shit nice. What's up, Tasha Ray? Yeah, we here. What we talking about today, Cornballs and Clout. There's a lot of corny behavior going on these days. And it seems as if corny behavior has become normalized. Not it seems. Corny behavior, let's tell the truth. Corny behavior has become normalized. Everybody you see on this picture right here is a fucking cornball. But in today's world, corny shit hits the front of the news. So, I am a verbal alchemist, a linguistic alchemist. I believe in taking these bullshit ass stories that they throw in our face that mean nothing. And I'm gonna start off by saying that. I'm gonna start off by saying this story don't mean shit. These people don't mean shit to me, none of them. I learn what I can learn from them and I move on. Like I learned a lot from Kanye. Kanye every now and again says some dope shit that I learned from. Everything else, and for people that say you can't learn from stupid people, that's a dumb motherfucker. Because negative experiences are also learning lessons. Someone showing you how not to behave, what not to do, is also a learning lesson. If you look at the battery of a car, it takes a negative and a positive charge to power a battery. Atoms, protons and neutrons. It's a balance between all that. So when you get this low vibration, surface level, corny nigga news like this is, the reason why so many people are still attracted to it and listen to it is because there are still things that are real about it and lessons to be learned. There are lessons to be learned when stories are out there. You don't just have to take it on the surface level. Well, some people, if that's what you do, that's what you do. But anybody who's been listening to me for a long time knows that I'm not a surface level thinker. You can extract gems and you can extract real life lessons that can sustain you for a long time through bullshit stories like this. What's up, the boxing session? Big salute to you, brother. Subscribe to this channel. They be talking, him and Fred. He be on with Fred from Barbershop Conversations talking boxing. I like listening to these cats talk boxing. I love when they do that. So subscribe to Fred from the Barbershop and TBS. I'll be talking some good boxing talk, brother. Back to what we talking about. What's up, Hartoons? What's up, everybody in the chat room? Again, I want to thank y'all for joining. So a few disclaimers before I get all the way into it. I have not, let me say it again, I have not been following this situation closely. What do I mean by closely? I mean I have not been reading every article that's come out about it. I'm not going to talk about the details of this love triangle and DL Hughley coming in, Clout chasing off what's going on between the other weirdos. I have not been reading the stories detailed, so this is not a broadcast where I'm going to get into the details of what's going on between these weird people. I'm talking about this from a macro point of view. I'm pulled back, looking at the overall situation, and we talking about lessons that we can learn from this overall situation of corniness. If you want the details of who said what to who and this and that, I'm sure there are dozens upon dozens of YouTube channels following the minute details of what's going on between these weird people. This show is not that. This show is going to be talking about lessons to learn from the overall issue that's getting thrown in our face, whether we subscribe to these people, follow these people or not. I don't follow DL Hughley on Twitter. Matter of fact, I'm blocked from his account because he wanted to talk shit. But when I clowned his ass with that birthmark on the side of his cheek, instead of just taking it as jokes, when he called me fat first, he reported me to Twitter and then blocked me. So he's a brother that can throw it, but he can't take it. Kanye West, as you know, I admire his drive. I admire his work ethic. I admire his belief in himself. I absolutely love his first 3 albums. College Dropout, Graduation, and the other one, which escapes my brain right now. The album that had Drive Slow on it. Got a goddamn brain fart right now. I love Kanye's production with Common on the B album. I love his production with 213. Another Summer. I love that song. Where he remixed Intimate Friends by Leon Ware, sung by Eddie Kendricks. Intimate Friends. Kanye remixed that beat, sped it up a little bit, and produced that song by 213 with Italian Luck is singing Another Summer. Warren G, Nate Dogg, Snoop. I love that song. Kim Kardashian has absolutely no value to me whatsoever. All I knew was her daddy was a nigga that was on the OJ trial. I saw her around LA in the early 2000s when she was fucking everybody up for clout, when she was fucking all these niggas for clout. I used to see her at the club. She looked cool, but as far as all the women that would be in the club on some of these nights, like for those of you who are from LA, remember the Garden of Eden on Sunday night? She would be there sometimes. When the Garden of Eden shut down, it was over to Guys and Dolls in West Hollywood. Those of you who are in the in-crowd of LA know what the fuck I'm talking about. You cornball niggas don't. Or if you ain't from LA, you don't. But these were some great nights to be out partying in Los Angeles, California during the 2000s. Sunday night was always the best night to party. The best nights to party in LA are Sunday through Wednesday. Anything, sometimes Thursday. Anything on Friday and Saturday, that's where all the people who had day jobs, that was them nights, or people that couldn't come out during the week, had kids or whatever, they party on Saturday and Sunday in LA. The parties in LA, Friday and Saturday. The parties in LA are Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and sometimes Thursday, but really Sunday through Wednesday. I used to see Kim around. She would come to the Black Nights every now and again. And on those nights, on a scale of 10, she would be a 7. I'm not going to undercut her. She would be a 7 on those nights. She wasn't a 10. She definitely wasn't an 8. But you know how a lot of these entertainment niggas are. The first non-black thing they can find is what they want. They don't care if she's white, Latina, Persian, Brazilian. A lot of these Hollywood, and when I say Hollywood, I don't mean LA. Because Hollywood and LA are two different things. I don't mean that. I mean, the Hollywood motherfuckers, the people that moved to LA, the people that moved to LA to become something in entertainment. Oh, let me put y'all on hold for about 2 minutes. I forgot. I got an appraiser coming to my building. I'm going to put y'all on hold for about 2 minutes. I'll be right back. And chat room, remind me where I was when I come back. appraiser that was coming down. Got to get an appraisal done on one of my buildings with 2 of them. But the shit was supposed to be done at 10 this morning. They didn't call, so I figured they didn't need me. And as soon as I get going with you guys, do 5150 nigga. So where was I? Where was I, chat room? Where was I? Thank y'all for waiting. I appreciate that, for real. Yeah, DL did run from Angela Stanton. I forgot about that. But I'm all in y'all conversation now. I see Nino Black saying he had to use a VPN to listen to it. Listen to what? Now I'm all up in y'all conversation. What was you niggas talking about? Whatever you have to use a VPN to listen to. I got a VPN. Shit. Well, I was talking about people coming to Hollywood to get rich. Yeah. So whenever I talk about Hollywood is full of corny ass niggas. Let me tell y'all that. Hollywood is full of corny ass niggas. And these people you see as celebrities, the people that have these great publicists, and they get access to media covering their every move, 90 to 95% of these motherfuckers is corny as hell. And then you got Pete Davidson. And I remember, I don't know Pete Davidson like that. But we were cool before I haven't seen him since he's blown up. So I'm not going to act as if he's something different since he's blown up. I have not seen Pete Davidson since he's blown up. I probably ain't seen Pete Davidson in 8-9 years. And we never kicked it. I ain't trying to do none of that shit. He's just somebody who I would run across when I would be at the Comedy Store telling jokes, or the Improv, or some of these different open mics here around LA. I used to run across Pete before he got the Saturday Night Live gig and before he since grown into a pretty big star. But from the very, very extremely limited interactions I've had with Pete Davidson, he was cool with me. He was cool with me. But so he's getting a lot of clout off of this. And knowing someone like him, he's going to use it in a way that's going to benefit his career immensely. What is that? So that's what we're going to be talking about overall today. The corny Kanye, the lame clown DL, the clout chasing Kim, and the clout benefactor Pete Davidson. We're going to talk about Pete to probably the least amount in this. But I will say this. He's about to be another person that's going to get much more famous than he's ever has been off of a black dick. Not saying he's the one writing Kanye, but all of this whole clout story centers around Kanye and his bedroom behavior. It's a whole industry around black men and bedroom behavior that profits a lot of people except the black men. I don't believe Pete got his name tattooed. First of all, I believe that Mama Kardashian is controlling a lot of this narrative with her access to the media. Mama Kardashian and her media resources are bigger than Kanye's media resources. For all we know, and this is allegedly, I don't know, just from the outside looking in, hell, Mama Kardashian could be the one coordinating the whole Pete Davidson situation, knowing how Kanye will react. She knows her son-in-law. She knows how to get him triggered. Who's to say she ain't match her daughter with this motherfucker? Yeah, Kris is a pimp. Kris is a pimp. She's a pimp. She raised some harlots and she pimped her harlot daughters to the max. As Big Josh says, to the max. Salute to the homie Big Josh. But so here's what I want to talk about to the fellas, especially you young brothers. You cats, especially under 30, you've been raised in a world, and to my generation, I'm 40, but to my generation to a lesser extent, but really, it got really crystallized for the cats that are under 30. You guys got raised off of extremely corny behavior in the media. Because for the people that are around 30, that means you were around 10 during the year 2000. And 2000 on is when they really started to, when corny really started to become more and more of a thing and get normalized. Corny shit like spending your money, music that's centered around spending your money on bullshit, tricking your money off, on nigga trinkets and white women. That stuff was normal for you guys at 30 when y'all started to come into your own as teens. All you saw was the people my age and older tricking their money off and doing corny shit. What's corny shit? Talking about things other than being a man, standing on your own 2 feet, raising a family, or if you don't want to raise a family, don't start one. Spend your money on things that are going to pay you in the long run. No. That corny shit really got blown up through Kanye. Actually, not Kanye. Kanye's corny shit came a little later. That corny shit really started to get blown up with Jay-Z. Jay-Z had the most cornball reference for adulthood that's possible. He said, you're a better man when you can buy a better car and get a prettier woman. That makes you a better man, basically. That's corny shit. Image. Kim Kardashian became famous around at the same time. She's famous for nothing. She has no talent. She just kept fucking her way to the top. And it raised the women, the girls, to want to be a corny, talentless hack that thinks all of her value lies in her black features while not being black. Thick lips, big booty. That's corny shit. The 2000s was hella corny. I call that 2000s era of music the fuckboy era of music. The fancy cars, the women and the caviar. They know who we are, cause we pimping all over the world. I know, I was in New Orleans at the Essence Fest looking to buy a hand grenade because Ludacris sang that in that song. I was in my 20s when that shit happened. They had us focus on some corny ass shit. And I'm not talking to y'all like the Oracle. I'm talking to y'all like somebody who had to live through that. And some of that shit we was doing back then, now the time has gone on, I had to look back and be like, man, that was some corny shit. Cause in the early 90s when I was 10, I was raised on Ice Cube. Check yourself before you wreck yourself. X-Clan. To the east, my brother, to the east. Arrested Development. That was the music when I was 10. Then you have the grown and sexy music. The people that was singing about being a family. Loving your children and your neighbor. But when the 2000s came, the 2000s was all about corny shit. Kanye rapping about putting clothes on layaway so he can be fresh when he enters something. Man, we got the men putting clothes on layaway so you can look fresh? What kind of bullshit is that, man? I'm not saying you shouldn't dress nice. If you can afford it, girl, by all means, go ahead. And by afford, I mean dress that way and still have money left over to give back to your people. That's what afford means. But if you can't afford it, what kind of shit is that rapping about putting clothes on layaway from a grown-ass man? That 2000s era was corny and trash socially. And I'm saying that as somebody who was in my 20s in the middle of that, who was there to see it. Hey, I'm telling y'all right now, when I realized all that shit was corny I've always kind of known it was corny, but I started realizing the extent of the corniness in 2006 and I was 25. That's when I started realizing the extent of how corny shit was. In 2000s, when the Cash Money started becoming a big thing and the Saint Lunatics and that sound, I thought it was just, okay, this shit is corny, but it's, every time I come around my city, bling, bling, I always thought that song was corny. I thought Shaq was corny for making that the theme of the Lakers 2000 championship. But I thought that shit was just going to be a phase and we was going to get back to real shit like it was in the 90s. I didn't know it was going to get worse. Kim Kardashian, I kept asking, why the fuck is this bitch famous? She just, in LA, she's a 7. Now, I mean, I'm talking about after she's made up. Before she got made up, she was a 6. And I ain't talking about now, I'm talking about when she started to first get like alterations in the late 2000s. That's when she became a 7. When she started to blacken it up. But this shit is what the 2000s was about. Corny ass people trying to be regular. Kim Kardashian's a corny ass hoe. She's corny. Not having talent and just telling people to work and getting a bigger booty, trying to look blacker, that's corny as hell. Kanye, see, this is what happened. And let me break this down. Oh, and speaking of corny, D.L. Hughley was the corniest motherfuckers on the Kings of Comedy. Can we, is that, no? Am I wrong? Even cornier than Steve Harvey. The Kings of Comedy, when you watch that over, you always fast forward DL and you get right to Seth the Entertainer and Bernie Mac. Because them jokes DL Hughley was saying on Kings of Comedy was the same shit he was saying on Comic View back when we was in school watching on BET. So let's break this whole situation down. Here's the reason why I don't feel bad for Kanye in this situation. Yes, it's sad that if he's telling the truth about him not having access to his children. I believe him because of who Kim and her mama is. A lot of people, I was about to say black people. A lot of, like, when it comes to Kim and when it comes to Kris Jenner and Kim and her mama, they just know how to control media, so they can make Kanye look however he looks. And Kanye not being someone, I truly think Kanye has Asperger's. Asperger's is when people don't have filters, and that's a form of autism where people have no filter. Kanye I think he either has Asperger's and he's in and out of mental states. He's sometimes right on point, or he could just be bipolar. Sometimes Kanye's 100,000% on point, but just as much as he can be on point, he can be off. So he doesn't help with his inability to communicate clearly. So Kanye is the cornball. Something that happened, this happens all the time here in LA, and I see this all the time in LA. Because LA women, especially my LA black women, you gotta grow up fast in LA. You gotta grow up fast in LA. Everybody in LA is hustling. The real niggas are south of the 10 freeway. But we grow up in a world that comes at us fast. And LA is a show me city. You can't perpetrate in LA. You gotta be who the fuck you are. And if you ain't, people will exploit you. If you perpetrate one thing and you not that, well, the people who are that will exploit you and your ego, thinking you are that. Whatever you call yourself to be in LA, you better be that. And if you are that, let me tell you something. Niggas in LA leave you alone and they show you love. You get love all across this city when you say what you mean what you say. When you are who you are. When you have integrity, LA respects integrity, and LA doesn't go after integrity. If you have integrity, people in LA for the most part leave you alone. Because there's so many fakers and frauds out here, they have more than enough people to manipulate here in LA. These fakers and frauds. Those are the people who get game run on them. Kanye, being a cornball ass nigga, beat producer, musician, which most musicians are corny. He plays this tough act. He plays this act like he can get whatever woman he wants. And there are cats that are out there, but those cats got the mouthpiece. Kanye ain't got that, but Kanye has the status. I see this all the time in LA. Hey, this should be part of the reason why I like a lot of Nigerian dudes from LA be talking shit. I see this shit all the time. Like a lot of Nigerian dudes in LA, you'll see them kind of talk shit about black women, and I'll tell you why. This ain't got nothing to do with Kim Kardashian. I ain't calling her black. Now that bitch is white. I ain't got to Kim yet. I'm just using this analogy and I'm setting this up, all right? So if you people listen to the replay, don't go around saying, DeJuan called Kim Kardashian black. No, the bitch ain't. She's a white bitch trying to get black features. So back to what we talking about. In LA, you get like these Nigerian dudes who are like corny as hell in middle school and high school. Not all Nigerians, but y'all know who y'all know 8 out of 10 you niggas was corny as hell in school. 8 out of 10. Dressed funny, socially awkward. You didn't quite have the jokes the rest of the niggas had. And it'll be the same thing for like the corny ass FBA niggas. A lot of times you get these niggas that moved in from somewhere else and they're not really, or they just, some people are just corny and they're a little slow and they don't really get no attention from the ladies in middle school and high school. Shit. LA women are quick. And corny ass niggas can't keep up. But the corny dude, for the most part, learns his lessons through high school. But you have those who don't. And then you got these niggas who stay corny and then they hit a lick. Whatever it is that they do well, they start making a lot of money at. Whether that be music, computer engineering, whatever it is they do. Now, them same LA chicks who are quick, they see this sucker. And now he see them. Cause this pretty woman reminds him of the girls he couldn't get in high school. She sees a simp. And what happens is that simp ass nigga gets with her, but don't realize, yeah, she's 23, 22, but she been playing the game since she was 14. She been having grown ass men trying to holler at her since she was 12. So she know what this shit is. Yeah, and I'm not calling, I ain't even talking about I ain't even talking about the ones who actually sleeping with these various dudes. They just know the game. Some were, some weren't. And then the cornball ass nigga gets with her, a chick that's been passed around the city. In this case I'm talking, she was the chick that was fucking the assistant back, the basketball head coach or one of the teachers at school. By the time she was out of high school, she done had a nigga pay for her whatever, car note, whatever, that's in his 40s. She done kind of been through some shit. And now you 21, 22, you getting a little status off what you do, 23, 24. And then you go with this chick who still got the looks she had in high school, but she's 20 years advanced than you when it comes to game. You have a baby by this chick, and she plays your ass. So now, since you got played by the chick who done had experience in life, because you was a corny nigga, now all black women are bad. Ooh, black women are this. Ooh, black women are that. I can't stand black women. All black women want is your money. You all heard these niggas. We've all heard them. Usually that's the cornball ass nigga who got with the chick that was too fast for him. And he got played. Now the real niggas, the dudes in this chat room, the people listening, me, we see this shit going on. We looking like, he bragging about this chick that he got, how she this and that. She's mixed with this and she has green eyes and her booty whoomp de whamp. But you know this nigga corny. You know this nigga corny. And while he's talking to you about this chick, you like, man, in your head you thinking like, man, you sure? I see you always flashing money. You sure it ain't the money? You really think it's you, nigga? And you try to tell him, it may not, dog, she may be fucking with the money. She may be fucking with what you do. But since he's a corny nigga, raised in a very corny world, he's listened to Jay-Z tell him it's all about his money, not about who he is as a man. BBD had a song about this in the early 90s. See, Bell Biv DeVoe warned you niggas. They had a song called I Thought It Was Me. Thought it was me that made that girl so wild. I thought it was me. I found out she's like that with all the guys. I thought it was me. Excuse my singing. But those of us who are around in the early 90s, we got that lesson. We got that lesson. Ice Cube on America's Most Wanted when he said, don't go back to a girl's apartment. She'll have 3 niggas in the closet waiting on you to get there to gank you for your shit. We learned that. But unfortunately for the cats under 30, they were raised in a world where that type of message music wasn't put out. So they don't know it's about their money and not who they are. They get in a situation, they drop a seed, and the town flip. Now their whole world is flipped upside down because they didn't heed the advice of the real niggas. They didn't listen to their mama. They followed the advice of corny ass 2000s era music. And now they in a situation. And now they in a situation. That's what's going on with Kanye West. So on one hand, we see what's going on with Kanye West. Kanye West was the music producer, really good at music. And then when he finally got to the status that he can have whatever woman he wanted, he got rid of this down home girl that he had with him that he talked about on his first album. Now he's with, what's that chick from Cape Verde with the big old booty? Amber Rose. Only corny niggas like strippers, man. It's always that cornball dude that want to go fuck the stripper. Then he gets rid of her, Amber Rose, who was an obvious status chaser. And he gets with the ultimate status chaser. A woman who got famous fucking Ray J. She was married twice before. As a matter of fact, she was married when she started fucking with you, Kanye West. Another corny rule. You don't mess with no man's wife. It's not what a man do. That's not what a man does. If a woman is married, you leave her alone. There's so many single women out here, fellas. So many single women. The fuck you doing messing with a married woman? See, when you start a relationship on something like that, that's probably how you're gonna end up. How do you enter a relationship with a married person who had already been divorced? She only has a name because she is fucking Ray J before you, Nick Cannon before you, NBA players. That's her whole MO. See, real niggas, we see this. Larry will tell you in the chat room, we've been to some of the greatest parties you've never heard of. And when you at these parties, when you at these events, you see the same women. That song by Tupac and Nate Dogg, every other city we go, every other video, no matter where I go, I see the same. Oh. Hey, fuck you, Larry. Larry said I was almost Kanye's brother-in-law. That's a whole nother story. That's a whole nother story. Those of you who've been listening to it for a long time, y'all have heard the story about me and Khloe Kardashian at the Clipper games. Larry, you know, Khloe Kardashian, she was the homie. It wasn't. Khloe was the homie. She was the homie. But you saw it back then. That video was no joke. That song was no joke. When you in these environments, you see these same women. These environments aren't easy environments to get in. It's security everywhere. So if you know how to get these, locker room access and party access, you see the same people. Hey, Khloe did. Khloe used to flirt like, I didn't notice Larry, and it took Larry to notice that Khloe used to flirt. I was like, man, Khloe was the homie. And then Larry and the other cat we be kicking it with at the games be like, hey, you think she fuck with that nigga DeJuan like that? I was like, nah, nigga, she's the homie. I have nothing but good things to say about Chloe. Personally. Now, as far as what she do out there, that's some trash shit that she be that. But here's the reason why I don't have any issues with the Kardashians themselves. They are very obvious with what they do. It's these corny niggas that keep falling for it. Basketball players are very corny. There's something you guys don't realize. That's why I always laugh at these you corny ass niggas that call your favorite basketball player king this and all that. Y'all don't know how corny these NBA niggas really are. It's the only thing. Hey, niggas, Dawood, that joke was trash. You don't come with a joke. You gotta do something better than that, homie. God damn, that joke was bad. Hey, chat Myra mods, time that nigga out for that joke. Don't kick him out. Don't let that nigga talk for like 90 seconds with that lame ass joke. That lame ass joke out of here, nigga. But NBA niggas are very, very, very corny. Pro athletes. Think about this shit for a second. Pro athletes are these tall, goofy motherfuckers who are trained to play basketball only. These niggas is hooping 6, 8, 10 hours a day. They don't really have social skills like that. By the time they got to middle school and at the latest high school, the cats that make the NBA, 99% of them, they were super exceptional in high school. So since they're super exceptional, they never had to develop the game you and I, fellas, we had to develop with women. They didn't go through the early heartbreaks. To be a young man in your late teens, early 20s is very heartbreaking, especially if you're the kind of brother that really wants to get with a female. You ain't trying to play games. Matter of fact, a lot of the niggas that play games, it's because a chick that they really wanted to be serious with fucked them over in some kind of way. So they be like, so when you like 20, late teens, early 20s, late teens, it happens for men between 18, I ain't talking about you niggas that was molested at 10. Y'all niggas was molested if you was fucking at 10. You was molested. Talking about people who had normal childhood developments. You start getting with the chicks in high school, but you don't really start figuring these women out till you between 17 and, for the later guys, 22, 21. That's when you realize these hoes ain't shit. Because women between the ages of 16 and 24 usually go very dumb. Women are very smart people, super perceptive. But between 18 and 23, 25 sometimes, women, 23, really 22, women live their life, for real, for real. Some women, it goes all the way through till they get to 30. And they get with these niggas who ain't shit. And then they start getting mad at men because they chasing D-boys. They chasing these dudes, the gangster niggas. They chasing married niggas, people that they ain't got no business with. So women go through that shit around that time. While the men their age are getting a lot of interaction with women who've already been through that, or women they may not necessarily be attracted to. So there's a lot of shit going on between the ages of 18 and 23 for the young man and the young woman. When we're learning shit, when we're taking our bumps and bruises. So by the time we're 25 plus, 25 to 35, you figuring out what it is you really, really want. You find out what it is, and if you find that person, you get married between those times. If you're lucky. Well, NBA players didn't have to go through that. They were the exception of the exception. They always had money. Even through college, niggas be getting paid off, and they didn't have money, they had status. And status attracted the women. So these NBA niggas really do think it's about them. I appreciate the Cash App, George Shaw. These NBA niggas didn't listen to Belle Biv DeVoe. They thought it was them. The women come fast and easy. The women are gunning for them. We used to see this shit up close and personal. That's why I didn't believe Larry when he used to be like, man, I think Chloe be. I was like, nigga, first of all, she married to Lamar Odom at the time she was. And she got all these NBA niggas around her. What the fuck would she be looking at me for? And Larry was like, I'm telling you. A few times I caught it, I was like, okay. Sometimes these chicks, see, fellas, again, it ain't even about how you look. That's why I laugh at these cornball niggas. Man, DeJuan, man, you need to look like this, man. You need to lose weight. You need to whoop DeJuan. And look, if my weight ever stopped me from getting access to anything I wanted, promise you, the shit would have been gone 20 years ago. It ain't about how you look, fellas. It's about how you carry yourself. It's about who you are. Are you a man? Do you say what you mean what you say? That's another way you can attract women. But when you're dealing with your celebrities, when you're dealing with your athletes, these niggas ain't figured that part out yet. So they get with these obvious traps and they get played. They get played. So although it is sad, if it's true Kanye can't see his children, I'm never going to say that's cool. A man should always have access to his children. But at the same time, corny nigga, we saw this coming. Everybody saw this coming. I'll never forget something my wife said. Right when Kanye and Kim got married, it was me, my wife, and Larry in the chat room. He was in the car with us. And my wife was like, man, I cannot wait to hear Kanye's album when he get that divorce from Kim. And in the car, we all was debating how long it was going to take. None of us thought it would last this long. I think the highest, I said 7 years max. Larry, everybody else had it less than 5. But I remember my wife saying that in the car. I think Larry, that's when we was like leaving the beach or some shit like that. Or we was around the beach, some shit. We was like, nigga, when is this shit gonna end? So the things that Kanye is going through is what is the cost of being a corny nigga. What is a corny nigga? Cornball is somebody who thinks what they do or how they dress or how much money they have defines who they are. That's what I'm defining as a corny motherfucker. Externally focused men and women who think who they are is tied to how they dress, who they're with, how much money they have, their material possessions, basically anything that they think they're anything that could be destroyed in the fire. I remember my dad gave me, and this is game for you young men, and to you women too, this is game for you. This is a lesson I got from my dad. Something my dad taught me when I was real young. He said, whatever woman you get with, you better make sure you love who she is as a person. He said looks will attract you, but looks can't be the only thing that you get with somebody with. They gotta have substance. Or my dad said, as far as looks go, looks can be destroyed in one car accident. What are you gonna do? Leave her during a time of her need because she got in a car accident? Because she don't look the way she used to look? So the lesson, son, my dad said, is get with somebody for more than their external features. Now, of course, you want to be attracted to their external features. Ain't nobody saying get with somebody you're not attracted to. No, you definitely need to get to somebody you're attracted to. Like I always say, but who you're attracted to is different than who I'm attracted to, which is different than who your sister's attracted to, your brother, your cousin, your friend, your neighbor, your uncle, your auntie. We all like what we like. So step one of not being a cornball ass person is getting to know who you are and getting in touch with who you are and liking who you are and liking what you like. What you like. Not what the TV says is right. Not looking for a woman based on what other niggas say. Not looking for a man based on what other women say, for you ladies. Getting with the person who is genuinely what you're attracted to and what you like. Mind you, again, you listen to a married man who's in a functional relationship. So I'm giving you functional advice. You do shit like this when your relationship is functional with your wife. This is functional. My cousins, everybody you see in this picture, the shortest marriage in this picture is 7 years. The shortest marriage in this picture is 7 years long. So I know what the fuck I'm talking about. You dig what I'm saying? This isn't just me. This is also the company I keep. That's a good quote, McCoy. Corny dudes are arrogantly clueless. I like that, brother. Or sister, I'm not sure. But I like that. Corny dudes equal arrogantly clueless. I love that. So like I said, when y'all getting relationship talk from me and talk on what a functional relationship is, this is where that's coming from, right here. You dig what I'm saying? So you got to get in contact with what you like. What is the consequence of not getting in touch with who you are and what you like? What's the consequence? You end up getting with somebody like Kim Kardashian. An obvious flip. Why did Kanye get at Kim Kardashian? Probably the same reason why he got with Amber Rose. This dude likes the stereotype of what he thinks, what the world says a woman should be. He want the stripper. He want the one on his arm that makes other men jealous. Which is also the characteristics of a lot of these undercover gay dudes. I ain't saying that about Kanye. I don't know shit about Kanye's sexual behavior, so I am not putting that on him. But y'all ever notice any dude that y'all knew that was acting straight? Y'all, first of all, you already knew the nigga was gay. But anytime you see a dude that can only fuck with models, the dudes who only date models, 98% of them niggas is gay. Because most dudes don't mind a few thunder strikes through a woman's belly. I ain't saying he wants a chubby chaser, but he also don't want his woman to be walking on stilts either. Most real dudes want some booms and the baps on his black women. Not the paid for boots and the baps, the ones who grow naturally. These dudes who only go after models are people who either don't like women or they never got in touch with who they really like. So you end up with a chick like Kim Kardashian, but for a lot of you regular niggas, it ain't gonna be nobody as socially pretty as Kim Kardashian. When I mean socially pretty, no matter what you think, the world likes the way she looks. It's not about my personal judgment of her being a 6.5, 7. The world thinks she's a 10, so Kanye West thinks she's a 10. But that's what happens when you get with women based on what society says is pretty. You look past all the other obvious signs of bullshit and you end up in a situation Kanye's in. So you might be asking me, why is DL Hughley being mentioned with these corny motherfuckers? This is the other side of the story that we're gonna talk about, corny behavior. You know what else is corny? When a man, no matter how corny that man is, when he's fighting over his wife and his children, as a man, it ain't nothing for me to say about that. I can't jump in and tell you how not to fight for your children, your wife. No matter what we say about Kim Kardashian and corny Kanye, he still married her. That means he still has any. If he's not the one, he obviously ain't the one that wanted the divorce. You saw on the Drink Champs interview, he was still claiming her as his wife, even after she made it publicly obvious she was done with him. That's still that man's heart. And as a man, you don't get involved with another man fighting for his life, his wife, his children. That's emotionally, Kanye's going through some emotionally traumatic shit right now. His ex-wife is fucking a pale corpse. Look at Pete. This nigga Pete look like he belongs in the Thriller video. This motherfucker look like his blood is blue when it bleeds. Now, this nigga blood look purple. Damn that. He looks like a purple-blooded vampire. So to lose this woman that you got with on some social shit, you basically, your attraction to her was she's socially exotic and socially the pretty, and you now got with this woman that you can floss and flaunt in your mind. You don't realize the real niggas looking at you like, nigga, you got with the flip. But since she is publicly Kim Kardashian, and you laid a lot of value in yourself on your ability to attract Kim Kardashian, now she's fucking Eddie Munster, looking like one of the monsters over there. You probably gonna flip out, especially if your children are caught in the middle of this very public dispute. So as a man seeing all of this, there's absolutely nothing you can say to Kanye West. Kanye has to get through this to the best of Kanye's ability. You don't jump in the middle of they shit with your 2 cents, you gossiping ass nigga. That's not respectable, DL Hughley. Kanye going through you a comedian. You got TV shows and shit, man. You got your own life. You got your own thing to live. Jumping in on this man's love issues is corny as hell, nigga. This shit's corny. DL Hughley, for all the young men out there that were raised in this last really 22 years of just normalized cornballness, don't do what DL Hughley did. Don't jump in and have words to say over another man, his children, and his wife or ex-wife. There's nothing you can say to another man about his situation. You stay out of that as a man. You stay out of that. There is no opinion, valuable opinion you have jumping in a married man's marriage. That's some gossip girl shit. What you gonna do next, DL? Paint your toenails pink? For real. What's next? You gonna put some foundation on your face? Powder your nose when you go to the bathroom, nigga? What? What you gonna say next, DL Hughley? Men have periods too? Are you one of them? Are you one of those men have periods too ass niggas? Mind you, see, the people that be jumping at other people's shit like this, it's always the people with the most amount in their closet. It's always the people with the most amount of garbage and bullshit in their closet. It's always them motherfuckers. Remember this story about DL? Let me see. Let me see here. I'm looking for the actual article. I'm looking for. Oh yeah, here it is. Here it is. Here it is. Remember this? Hold on. I gotta get y'all.
Always above reproach. Nobody ever believes them. And then it's always a lot of it.
Listen.
Mm-hmm. And it's always, and the reason it hits home to me is because my youngest daughter said something happened to her. And because it was somebody I like, I didn't believe her. Mm. And I'll never get that back. She'll never, I'm supposed to protect her. And I'll never get that back that she told her father something. And he didn't do nothing about it.
Let me repeat it.
Because it was inconvenient.
His words, not mine.
And it's always, and the reason it hits home to me is because my youngest daughter said something happened to her. And because it was somebody I like, I didn't believe her. Mm.
For those of you who didn't hear that, a grown-ass man DL Hughley saying on the Shade Room, not Shade Room, on Sirius XM. I didn't say this. I didn't know this. And I would have never known this had he not said it. Thank you for the Cash App, Jeffrey Hicks. I never would have known this had he not said this out of his own mouth. His daughter let him know about someone who assaulted her, and he didn't believe it because he liked the dude. Let me say it again. See, this is a lesson in corny behavior. These are the kind of men who jump in other men's business. Cats that think this is okay. I'm gonna play it one more time. Now, I'm not even gonna say it. I'm only gonna use his words.
And then it's always a lot of it. Mm-hmm. And it's always and the reason it hits home to me is because my youngest daughter said something happened to her, and because it was somebody I like, I didn't believe her. Mm. And I'll never get that back. She'll never. I'm supposed to protect her, and I'll never get that back. That she told her father something, and he didn't do nothing about it because it was inconvenient. So
So yeah, that's the level of character that we dealing with right here. This is the person all up in somebody else's marriage, right there, right there. That's the level of character that's speaking on someone else's marriage. Somebody said at least he admitted it. Okay. What does that do? What does that mean he admitted it? There's somebody walking around right now who assaulted his daughter. Did he say the person's name who did it? Because if there's someone that's assaulting your daughter, that means there's someone assaulting someone else's daughter. You didn't do nothing about it. Okay. Players fuck up every now and again. Did you ever mention the man's name? Did you tell the world who that was that assaulted your daughter? Or are you still protecting him because he has a status? Now someone else's daughter may get assaulted because that would not have been assaulted had you let them know who that person was. See, if DL outed that person, then I'll be like, okay, all right. Well, at least he made it to where it's going to be extremely hard for that person to assault someone else. I'll be like, all right. Cool. Now we know person B should never be around your daughter because person B is an executive at company A, and if you ever get any work or any auditions at company A, don't leave your daughter around person B because person B was outed by DL Hughley for assaulting his daughter. Now, I respect that. Everybody can make a mistake. But how do you fix that mistake? How do you allow someone to assault your family and we still don't know who this is? How many more daughters has that person assaulted? That person's walking free, making money. If there's somebody you like, that means they're probably somebody in the industry making money hand over fist. But because you like them, they continue to walk the streets and be predators to other people's daughters. That's a cornball. That's a clown, DL. DL Hughley been a clown, talking about a cornball, all for clout. You talking about Kanye West situation because it's bringing clout to your platform. You being the good Negro. You being the one that's going to be the whipping boy. You the whipping boy. Keeping all the other niggas in check through your Twitter fingers. So this is the lesson of today. Learn from these cornballs on what not to do. Learn who you are. Know who you are. Have integrity. Be a man. And being a man is knowing who you are, saying what you mean, and meaning what you say. Staying out of other men's relationship drama, and protecting our society by outing those who harm those within our society, starting at your own children. That's what manhood is. No matter who that other man is, if they're harming someone, make it harder, if not impossible, for them to harm the next person. You may not be able to go and beat. Now, you was the same dude talking about Terry Crews. I remember I agree with Hughley when he was clowning Terry Crews for getting his balls touched. D.L. Hughley was talking about how he would have beat the dude up who touched his balls. Well, if you didn't beat the dude up who touched your child, are you any better? We can't accept this behavior in our society. We gotta look at these celebrities as corny motherfuckers and lessons on how not to be. You can get your money with integrity. You don't have to be a cornball to get what you get. While at the same time, if that cornball is teaching you a lesson, learn. I still learn from Kanye West when it comes to grind. I still learn from Kanye West certain things he has to say regarding perspective. I've never really learned anything from D.L. Hughley. That nigga didn't know how to read until he got into his 20s. According to him, not me. He said it. I don't know how old he was, but he's the person that once said he didn't know how to read as an adult. That's not me. That's what he said. I'm not clowning him for that. There's people out there who can't read. Learn how to read. If you don't know how to read, at least D.L. Hughley learned how to read. Salute to him. Salute to D.L. Hughley for learning how to read later on in life. The nigga's corny. It's corny. The D.L. Hughley, the same person that just learned how to read, was the same person that supported Hillary. The same person that told us to vote for Biden. And as far as Pete Davidson goes, he's using this for his own clout. This is something that, and Pete Davidson's a fairly funny dude. Like, I remember before he became famous, he had some pretty good jokes when I would see him at the open mics around town. I haven't seen him perform once since he's been famous, because Saturday Night Live is just a corny ass show. I don't like Saturday Night Live. That's a cornball ass show. But he's going to use this clout to propel him forward, because corny niggas like Kanye are giving it to him. That's another lesson. You corny niggas. You giving clout to somebody who obviously needs the clout. I won't say needs it, but he's using the clout to his advantage. Kanye, your corny ass mentioning him every day, you literally putting him on. But I know Kanye can't see that because of the situation that he's in. So learn from these corny motherfuckers. Learn what not to be. And most of all, don't value celebrities. Celebrities are just corny ass motherfuckers who got a spotlight put on them. Someone in the industry decided this person is someone they want to put in front of a camera. And they get access. That's all a celebrity is. Someone with a good publicist who gives them access to mainstream channels. That's all it is. But don't be corny. Y'all see the Mothers of the Movement t-shirt. Get it right now on hotepish.com/shop. During Women's History Month. Incense and Ashtrays playlist on Spotify. Go to mixcloud.com/DeJuan and subscribe to Incense and Ashtrays. We're going to be back at it this coming Friday. Talking that music. We're going to be back at it this coming Friday, goddammit. Well, we're talking about cornballs, clowns, and clout. Learning from these cornball, clout-chasing ass niggas. Don't look at these people as anything to aspire to be. But look at them because at the same time, they all have a grind that got them a certain level of success. Kanye's grind is unmatched. He's a genius in music and in fashion. D.L. Hughley is an all-time great comedian. Well, I'm not a big fan of his comedy. Like I was at one point back in the Comic View days. But I'm not going to deny he's still one of the greatest to ever perform as a comedian. You can't tell jokes as long as he's been telling without being really good at them. D.L. Hughley's a great comic. Kim Kardashian, her and her family, they're great at using a little to get a lot. She's great at keeping people's attention. And the fact that she can keep attention without having any particular talent, her talent is keeping attention. And she works her talent. Pete Davidson, he's not going to let an opportunity go to waste. He's in the middle of a story that's going to be dead in a couple weeks or less. So he's using his social media and and he's using it to benefit himself. What does that tell us as a people? What does it tell you as an individual? When bullshit is being thrown your way, find a way to use it and to take that bullshit and use it to your advantage. Energy doesn't die, it only changes form. Or as the great Philip Bailey said on the song, I'll Write a Song for You by Earth, Wind & Fire, sounds never dissipate. They only recreate in another place and time. Sounds never dissipate. They only recreate in another place. Life lessons. Same with energy, man. Energy don't dissipate. It only recreates. But you, as the human conductor you are, you have power over the recreation of that energy. This is for those who understand that there's a deeper game to life than the physical illusions that we see. What's up, T. Clay? I ain't seen you in the chat room in a minute. Kim Kardashian, she showed what she got released. A sex tape got released. She since has been using that energy to level up. Every time she gets a divorce, she levels up. Every time she's done fucking the new public persona she's fucking, she levels up. She's just using Pete Davidson. I'm sure this should have been done between her and Pete before the summer starts. At the latest, before the end of the summer. And whatever energy she garners off of this, she'll use to level up her brand. So make sure that when people are throwing bullshit your way, your cousins, former friends, co-workers, observe and see how to transfer that energy into something for yourself. That transference of energy may be internal. You may take that bullshit they're throwing your way and use it as internal motivation to accomplish goals you've set for yourself. So you can move yourself out of the situation that you're in and level up to the situation that you want to be in. That can happen when your job is throwing bullshit your way. They trying to get you fired. Use that. Either use that energy to get who trying to get you fired, use that energy to get them fired, or use that as that energy as motivation to do that thing inside of you that you've been saying you want to do for the last 2 years. We all have things inside of us that we've been saying we gonna do, that you know you want to do, but you've been procrastinating to do, either out of fear. Well, fear is the base of all of it. But sometimes you may not know it's fear. Sometimes that fear plays itself out in the lack of self-confidence. You not thinking you're good enough or able to do that thing that's in your heart that you see is there for you. We all got shit inside of us that we've been saying we gonna do that we haven't done yet. So I'm sure Kim Kardashian had all kind of things she's saying she wanted to do. But when that sex tape got thrown out, she used the energy of that to start doing some of the things she said she wanted to do. Kanye is somebody who, when he was a producer rappers were known as that was a bad thing. You either produced or you rapped. Kanye believes in himself, and he still believes in himself. And he used whatever negative energies around him to become one of the greatest producers and one of the greatest rappers of all time. I'm always going to give Kanye that. Kanye is one of the greatest ever. And I don't like everything he's done. That whole phase when he was speeding up classic songs, See you wanna be, see you wanna be, see you wanna be, see you wanna be. Well. I hated that song. Some Luther Vandross, some thinking teen. I hated that song. Because I hated those kind of samples. I don't really like much Kanye music after 808s and Heartbreaks. Really after graduation, huh? After graduation, I'm not a big fan of a lot of his music. But I do see the way he's pushing music forward. I like a couple songs on Donda. I like a couple songs on Life of Pablo. But I'm not the biggest fan of his music anymore. But I see the genius in that man musically. I see how he wanted to get into fashion. Fashion's important to him. And I see how he's able to break down barriers in fashion and level up in fashion. I appreciate the Cash App to Hoodie. Much love. Kanye used whatever negatives was thrown his way, whatever people were saying he can't do. He used it to become the great that he is. So we can see some people you can not be fans of somebody or not really fuck with what they do, but still learn from what they did. Yes, these people all have access to media, but the only way that access to media works is if you have something inside of you that resonates with the masses of people. So that means you can learn from it. I didn't like Dark Twisted Fantasy by Kanye. A lot of people did. I didn't. But I do recognize it was still a great album. It was still a dope piece of artwork. It wasn't the album that I like. I only listened to it like 3 times and I couldn't listen to it anymore. But in the 3 times that I heard the album, I heard Kanye doing a lot of things that are still now being replicated and duplicated. He's a trendsetter musically. There's a lot to learn from Kanye. There's a lot to learn from his whole wife, Kim Kardashian. Using whatever comes your way to benefit you and your brand. There's a learning lesson in that. There's a learning lesson in D.L. Hughley. Be yourself. I mean, still get out and do what you do. It don't matter that you was the least, like, how can I say this? The most boring of the kings of comedy. You still been flipping that for 20 years. That's a dope thing to do. Learn not to do whole ass shit. Like from D.L. Hughley. Learn not to speak on other people's relationships. That is corny. And the people who speak on other people's relationships and tell men what they should do in the situation with their ex-wife, these are the kind of niggas that got their own closet skeletons that they've been hiding. And you don't want to be like that. Appreciate the Cash App, Troy Gibson. 1111, that's right. 100% Rotten Podcast. Salute to you, brother. 100% Rotten Podcast. That's right, Mike Breezy. Mike Breezy sound like a real ass nigga. That sounds like somebody. Mike Breezy. Anybody named Mike Breezy is a nigga that's a nigga that know where all the weed is in this city. Nigga, Mike Breezy can kick it with the nerds and the pimps and fit in both environments. You like that kind of nigga. You like the kind of nigga that could fit. This nigga could fit with the niggas in church and the niggas that's about to go to jail. This nigga Mike Breezy know where to get the weed. He know where to get the mushrooms. If the nigga lives in a dry county down south, people know they can go to his house instead of driving 45 minutes to the wet county to get that liquor. Salute to you, brother. But yeah, have that Bruce Lee mentality. Accept everything and reject whatever is useless. That's a lame brain mindset when people get around thinking that just because one person is bad at one thing or they're horrible at this, you got to reject them for everything. That's how people who can't multitask think. And everybody can't multitask. If you're the kind that cannot multitask, if you're the kind that has that laser-like point of view, then, you know, you got to do what's best for you. I'm not going to judge you and say it's wrong. But for those who can walk and chew gum at the same time, you can learn. You can learn. What's up, Miss Sugar D. Rosenblum? Yeah, DL Hughley always running to Vlad. Yeah. Yeah, DL going to Vlad is off cold. But so is saying take the jab and don't think. So is saying vote Democrat, even though they ain't never said they're going to do a damn thing from us. DL Hughley's whole Twitter thread is off code. And every now and again, he says some real shit that we all agree with. Every now and again, he will say some real shit that we agree with. Yeah. So, you're right, you gotta learn every day, either about the world or about yourself. You're right about that. So that's a lesson for today. Learn from the cornballs, clowns, and clout chasers. If the media is throwing us a bullshit-ass story, which this story is bullshit because at the end of the day, this is about Kanye, Kim, and their family. Whatever gets worked out is going to be worked out between them. Whatever the divorce settlement is, none of us are going to get any of the money from that settlement. None of us are going to share any of the heartbreak from that settlement, from that divorce. None of us are going to share any of the clout gained from that divorce. We're just observers. So since this story keeps getting thrown in our face and every few days is something new, let's talk about what to get from it and how do we learn from it. Whatever they throw out there for bullshit, we can use it for good. What's up, Miss Duckets? Thank you for being for the first time in here. Hope you learned something while we here. Because when it comes down to it, people, relationships, the first relationship you have in life and the last relationship you have in your life is your relationship with yourself. And when you have a relationship with yourself, or you're on the quest to get a better relationship with yourself, which we all should be, no matter what our relationship is with ourselves, we all can improve it. We can use these stories of nonsense that get thrown in our direction as personal lessons for ourselves. Someone is doing something that you admire, something that vibrates with you, something that you think can help you level up in what you do, then you learn from that shit and you copy that. And when you copy what they do, once you copy it, you personalize it for yourself. When you learn not to be a hoe, you see what DL Hughley doing. You're right. Charlamagne and DL Hughley, same thing. DL Hughley, Charlamagne the God, Roland Martin, Terry Crews. It's all the same shit through different funnels. They gonna do and say whatever they think their white paymasters want them to say, especially if they have a chance to down other black men. Now, every now and again, you got your people like D.L. Hughley and Charlemagne that'll say something against the white establishment, but that's the exception, not the rule. They do that. They do their quarterly bashing of, basically when they do talk about white people, it's not going to be nothing that's going to cause white folks to lose anything or take anything from them, or it's just something that we all see, something that's obviously racist, and we be like, oh, Charlemagne, DL, they'll say something about that, and everybody be like, yeah, right on, you right, B1. And then the minute they say some surface level shit about a white person, is back to bashing niggas at any angle they get. Stephen A. Smith, yes, another one. Stephen A. Smith looking like a hatched tortoise. You're right, Eric Sanders. They're all video game characters. They all video game characters. So I want to thank y'all for listening. Watch Craig Facts later on today. That channel is suggested here on this channel. Flip through some of my old videos. I encourage y'all, if you're new to the channel, I break down a whole lot of shit. But relationships are about communication. We got some relationship communication master classes coming your way on the Patreon and also in webinar format. Well, I'm breaking down really how to get through this stuff functionally. Again, when I talk about relationships, talking about them from this point of view. Someone who knows what it takes to keep a woman and be happy. Remember, there's nothing about Kanye. Before I get out of here, I want to say this. Another consequence of status chasing a relationship, meaning picking your spouse based on how things look over how they function, is this. When you get married, when you with somebody, you got to live with that person. A picture is just a moment in time. An Instagram clip, a YouTube clip is just a few seconds, a couple minutes of a life. The other 24 hours of the day, you have to live with that person. That person is now forever, even if you get divorced, part of your family. That person is going to be responsible for teaching your children if you have children with them. You got to get in contact and know yourself so you can choose the best person to make this experience we call life as pleasurable as possible. My dad used to always tell me, you don't ever want to fall in love with a bitch you can't stand. And he ain't the kind of person that uses the word bitch. But he used that word on purpose. Because if she's a bitch out there to people, she gonna be a bitch to you in that home with nobody looking. Do you want to marry that? Do you want that teaching your children? If you do get divorced, do you want to handle whatever shit is coming your way in that divorce settlement from her? Or do you want to marry somebody you really fuck with? Somebody who got your back and she got yours. Somebody you go out and do fun things with. Every picture I take, all this fun I had this weekend, my wife was right there 2 feet next to me on every one. She ain't ever in the pictures, but she always right there. You want to have fun? Or do you want clout? Do you want a relationship that looks good? Or do you want a relationship that is good? You can have either one. But you got to decide. And you make that decision through knowing yourself, through finding out who you are, and being the best person you can be. You may just want someone for the clout, and that way you can go off and do what you do. Just understand the consequences of whatever decision you ultimately get yourself into. All right? And remember this. There are no perfect messengers, only perfect messages for those who are willing to pick up the game. Remember that. And if you in LA, catch us Craig Facts Live, April 9th. TheCraigSmith.com is the website. Type in my name, DeJuan, where the coupon code is, that part, where it says who you coming to see. Type in my name, DWANN. 2 shows, April 9th. Type in my name. All right? And remember this. Y'all have a good day. And watch Craig Facts. Later on, I'm out.